Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Community Services meeting to order. Grimsby is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Haudenosaunee, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The Regional Municipality of Niagara and Town of Grimsby stands with all Indigenous peoples, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest? Nope. So we have an amendment to the agenda. Jessica, if you'll speak to that.
Thank you, Chair. Through you. We just need to add a delegation under delegations and presentations, which is item number 6. It'll be Tom Neufeld speaking to the farmers market. It was originally supposed to be on this agenda, but it was an error that it did not. So we're just going to correct that right now.
Can I get a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda as amended? Councillor Howe and Councillor DeFlavio. Sorry, moved by Councillor Howe, seconded by Councillor DeFlavio. Resolved that the February 27, 2024 Community Services Committee agenda be approved as amended. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. So Tom, you're all ready to go. Go ahead.
How's that? Whoa, an echo. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm here to make a request about Farmers Market in Grimsby downtown for the coming season. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are quite familiar with the Farmers Market downtown here. It's been a fixture for some time now. We've moved around a little bit, but our happy space is downtown, and I think it is for most of the general public that connects with us too. The request I'm talking about here this evening is for the opening and closing, or I should say it in order, the closing and reopening of the street. And we would require that on Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. between May 30th and October 10th. And we're asking for this to function in this way, that we would have the town employees take care of that closure and reopening of it, and our market treasury would pay for that cost. The region wants or requires that function to operate in that way, and so that's the reason I'm here this evening, is to make that a formal request. The good thing about the downtown, and we have learned this in recent years, having been at the arena here, is that our traffic is considerably heavier there. We have quite a bit more foot traffic there, and it certainly does promote economic activity in the downtown. So it's an enhancement for downtown, and it's one of the strong points, I think, that farmers markets provide. We have a similar situation, for instance, in St. Catharines, where sort of the last game in town, downtown, is now the farmers market. So this is a real benefit for the town of Grimsby, and there's lots of folks that come here for that reason. And so this is part of the mechanics of making the market in Grimsby function well, is that we have some streamlined and predictable closure and reopening of the street on those Thursdays. Any comments, questions?
I think procedurally we need to get this, yes, accept the delegation for discussion.
We can.
Okay, so discussion first. Councillor Howe? Councillor DeFlavio?
I was just going to agree with Tom. I think that the downtown, there's a huge difference in the creation of the sense of community that you get when it's a downtown. Besides the economic benefit of having it downtown, it creates that sense of community that we want, is the purpose of having a farmer's market, from my perspective anyway. I know that for the farmers, it's great to sell their products, but from a community perspective, it creates that sense of community and togetherness that we want to encourage in the downtown. So that's terrific. So thank you for doing what you do.
Farmers markets are meeting places, and they were function in that way quite effectively no matter where they are. And the more public visibility they have, the more effective they become. Anyone else?
Any other questions? No? Okay, well, thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you for making space for this. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Anytime.
And we hope this all works out well for Grimsby and for us too.
Okay, resolve that the delegation from Tom Neufeld be received for information. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Flavio and seconded by Councillor Howe. All in favor? Okay, that's approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we are now at agenda number 5, receipt of previous minutes. Can I get a mover and a seconder to receive the previous minutes? Moved by Member Laird, seconded by Councillor Corstangi. Resolved that the following minutes be received. Age-Friendly Advisory Committee, January 16, 2024. Community Services, January 23, 2024. Grimsby Green Advisory Committee, January 26, 2024. Age-Friendly Advisory Committee, January 30th, 2024. Culture Advisory Committee, February 8th, 2024. Age-Friendly Advisory Committee, February 20th, 2024. All in favor? Okay, that's approved. That's carried. Delegations, on to item number 7, consent reports. There are none. Item 8, discussion reports. 8.1, DCS 2411. We have some discussion reports. Actually, the one is a delegation, so now it's just the one discussion report. DCS 2411 on the CN Rail Declaration of Interest for Recreational Trail. Can I please get a mover and a seconder to get this item on the floor for discussion? Okay, moved by Councillor Corstangi, seconded by Councillor DeFlavio. And Director Sweeney, if you can get us started.
Thank you, Chair. Hopefully the report is fairly self-explanatory. When we did the Recreational Trails Master Plan, we did hear quite a lot about the idea of a rail with trails concept, and a lot of extra work was actually even put specifically into that item as we were exploring it. And at that time, with the conversations we were having, I think there was understood that there's a lot of potential there, but at the current time, we were being told that there were going to be some really big hurdles to go through. And that's sort of where it left with the Trails Plan as well, to keep it on there as something to aspire towards and keep certainly on our list, but recognize that there were some challenges with it. We were fortunate to have a meeting not long ago with the CAO, myself, and actually Councillor Nick DeFlavio was there as well, talking with the CN representative a little bit further, and it seems like perhaps there is still a little bit of a door or window open for us to pursue some conversation. And so the intent of this report is really just to acknowledge through staff and through council that we do have a formal interest in pursuing the conversation so that we may sort of see where that path will take us towards a future rail with trail, or at least some potential around that space. And I don't know, Councillor DeFlavio, if you maybe want to add, if that's okay, Chair. I know he may want to add some comments.
Councillor DeFlavio.
Thank you, Chair. Through you. Yeah, mostly it's about hope. You know, the hope is long term that we can build a trail along that corridor there. You know, we hear a lot of rumors about a GO station going in. Besides the recreational purposes, I really think from an active transportation perspective, having a trail that's adjacent to the railway lines, that is separated with properly separated with fencing and all the other things, a level trail that people can use to either bike or walk to the GO station will be a win for the entirety of Grimsby, because it means it does. One of my frustrations about GO stations has always been that they're designed to be driven to. So if we can keep people out of their cars and get them on their feet or on their bikes to get to the GO station, and then from there to where they have to go, that's less people using Grimsby roads and less time we have to spend on infrastructure. So that meeting was a good start with the CN representative. I was happy that Directors Sweeney and Ms. Kim were able to make that happen. And, you know, there were no promises made by CN, but the idea is that we need to start with a declaration that we are interested in doing this, and then we can move from there. You know, there are lots, just like any other organization, CN it's easier to say no, because I've used this example many times, but getting a sidewalk put on Casablanca took me my first 10 years on council to get a crossing across CN, because the default answer is no. But if we don't start with an ask, then we're never going to get to a yes. So, you know, for anybody who pestered their parents as kids, you know, my dad, an old Italian man, I had to ask him 1,000 times if I could use the car. We're starting by asking the first time. We're going to keep pestering them until they say yes. So this is the first step in the process.
Councillor Howe?
Through you, Chair, I cannot even support making a declaration. It puts a thought in someone's head. It's going to end up on paper. It exists in the Trail Master Plan, and it doesn't get removed, so it's always going to stay there. But a declaration to say that that's what we want to do at this point, even reading the master plan, the Trail Master Plan, and that's page 27 of the master plan, and I went through it, and they're showing more negatives. I don't know if there might be one little positive in there. I would suggest that it would be a phenomenal amount of money by the time you put all the safety into it. I don't know what setbacks were. I drove, Hunter, Kelson, Casablanca, Roberts this morning, and just trying to wrestle with it. And there's not enough room, and you can't do it safely. I don't think it wants to even be a consideration. So I can't support it. I would like a recorded vote when we do vote. Thank you.
Do you have any more discussion on this before we go to recorded vote?
Councillor Korstanji?
Yes.
Councillor Howe?
No.
Councillor DeFlavio?
Yes.
Councillor Sharwa?
Yes.
Member Laird?
Yes.
And that's carried.
Next, we have the report following the delegation, DCS 2412 on the Grimsby Farmers Market road closure. Can I please get a mover and a seconder to get this item on the floor for discussion? I think this is just a technicality. So Councillor Howe, moved by Councillor Howe, seconded by Member Laird. And Sarah, I don't know if you wanted to add anything else. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Chair. Just to make sure, just to cover really, really briefly, I think this is very familiar with most people. We've been doing this for many, many years. But the region does require that the town does the road closure. So we do that, and we do that in support of the market. So we do cover those costs as it's indicated in the report. A lot of municipalities support farmers market, to be honest, to a much greater degree than we do. And really the extent of our support is the road closure. And I think, given the positivity around the market and all the things that go on with it, I think it's an investment well made. So that's all.
All All right, resolved that report DCS 2412, Grimsby Farmers Market Road closure dated February 27th, 2024, be received for information. And one, that council endorse Grimsby's Farmers Market related road closures on Main Street West each Thursday beginning May 30th, 2024 and concluding October 10th, 2024, to be forwarded to the Niagara Region for approval. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Is there any other business pertaining to the committee? Any announcements? Director Sweeney?
If I may, Chair, just one thing I wanted to mention. On Friday, March the 8th, we are doing an age-friendly symposium or an age-friendly conference called Aging with Passion and Purpose. It's going to be the first of its kind, and our age-friendly committee is sort of behind the work for it. You probably saw it in the minutes, but I did just want to flag it. It's from 10 until 4. Happy to circulate that information to everybody, but if you get a chance, it should be a really great event.
Councillor Howe?
Thank you, through you, Chair. May 10th, at the library, in the library building, the second annual, I think, GLAM, okay? We get to dress up and be like adults. It turned out to be a very large success last year. More, I think it was even more, and Sarah can probably agree with that it was even more than what they thought it was going to be. It's going to not expand it so much, but provide a little bit more room this year, make a couple of changes. But there'll be the auctions and all that stuff. And Judy managed to break me last year at the auction, so we'll see what she does this year. So that's a very important day, May 10th. For the library, the art gallery, and the museum, for the three of them. The second thing is, and don't know if I brought this up, but it's certainly, Sarah and myself have touched on it. Next year, in September, up at the West Niagara Fairgrounds, is going to be the 2025 International Plowing Match. And if anybody has been anywhere as close to a farmer, the plowing match is as big as it gets in Ontario for population and people coming. Their average attendance is 70,000 people in the course of 4 days. This, I would think, maybe even pull more because it's closer to urban areas. And there'll be a lot of people want to go out and say, gee, but that's pretty close, those farmers. We'll go see what they do. It is quite a process. There'll be a 100-acre field of just for camping for them, for the people that are coming in for the RVs. There'll be another 100 acres set up for demonstrations and equipment and dealers, just all kinds of things. There's lots of opportunity, I would think, for Grimsby, going forward, that we can both help and, quite frankly, derive some business from it. It's a huge, huge deal. You get out into the counties. So that's next September. Thank you.
All right, the next Community Services Committee meeting is scheduled for March 26, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. And thank you, everyone. The meeting is adjourned.